when people look at me and they go to NSPG, Nik Shehu Property Group, and look at all our agents, I want them to feel professionalism there. I want to be like, these people have it all together. Absolutely. And somebody be like, I can see them delivering for me. My team always tells me though, hey man, don't take yourself so serious. And I'm a little too serious about that.
I liked it so much, what you're saying about your interview process and what y'all are looking for in a team. Give me a habit or two or a trait that you see top producers doing that others avoid. Maybe something that you can notice right away in people. What lessons from soccer translate directly to real estate? Today, I'm sitting down with Nik Shehu. Nik is one of the first guys that I called when I first moved to Bastrop. I was already in real estate, but he's one of the most well-respected team leaders in Bastrop County. He leads the Nik Shehu Property Group. And he gave me things in my first phone calls to him that I've remembered to this day. We'll talk about some of this today, but this is going to be a really good one. I hope you'll enjoy.
Welcome to House Money with Corbin Matisse. Here we have real conversations with Texas real estate experts. You'll hear true stories about the market from the heart of Texas real estate. Let's go.
So, Nik, thank you so much. This is the first podcast that I've ever recorded in person. So
I'm your first?
You're the first one. It had to be somebody local, had to be somebody respected. So I just really appreciate you.
Congratulations. Yes, this is really amazing.
Yeah, thanks. So before we get into business, I wanted to start with something personal. I think that you mentioned on our very first phone call, this might have been like 2 or 3 years ago, that your family was from Albania.
And you remember.
Walk me through that. How did your family end up in the U.S.?
Yes, so I'm from Albania. I was born and raised. Not many people know where Albania is. And I moved here as an exchange student when I was 17 years old, all by myself. With just, I believe it was probably $1,000 in my pocket. And I landed on the west side of Austin, actually, Marble Falls. I moved by myself as an exchange student. So a lot of people say, man, were you crazy? Well, I didn't do it because it was truly something that, per se, I wanted to do, even though my dream was to come. I mean, whose dream is not to come to the United States? I mean, it's just like for any person. But Albania was communism. So I grew up in a communist country. Albania was, along with Russia and other European countries back in the day, Eastern Germany, it was communism. So I grew up, I was born in 1981, so I experienced about 11 years of that. So when the transition happened, Albania went through a very rough time, almost civil war-ish, a lot of disorder, poverty, truly, So it was one of those moments that my parents tried to do what's best for me, even though it was very hard for them to send me off. So I landed in Marble Falls when I was 17 years old, and I moved by myself. My family actually was back in Albania. So no, I didn't move with the whole family. I moved all by myself. I was blessed to get a full ride scholarship and land in McMurray University in Abilene, West Texas. Plenty of dirt, no trees, so that was a whole new thing for me. Moving from the Mediterranean now in a no man's land, So I went to college there for 4 years. And then I landed in Bastrop in 2008.
So you, as an exchange student, you're 17, you're done with high school at that point?
I did here my senior year of high school.
And you moved in with a family there?
I moved with a family. Interesting story, though. A lot of people don't know this, but exchange student program, right? Our family signs up and says, hey, we'd like to take this foreign student to come stay with us for a year, finish his senior year, experience the culture of the United States. That was the idea. Well, I land at Austin Airport, and guess what? The family is not there. They left me at the airport. They did not show up. I know, it sounds insane, right?
Yeah.
So another family that was there, I guess they felt so bad that a 17-year-old that could barely speak English, I could barely speak English, was left at the airport and nobody was there to pick me up. So they're like, hey, why don't you come stay with us for the weekend till this thing gets figured out? Yes.
That's great.
And the family that took me in basically said, hey, this is very difficult, right? This family didn't show up for you. If you want, you can stay with us moving forward. So we notified them, said, thank you so much. But if you didn't show up enough, to pick me up, then I'm not going to come. So I'm going to stay with this family. And the family now has turned to me, for me, like a second family, really. And they took me in a very very difficult moment, man. But, I was like, what do I do? I mean, it's like, I don't have money.
I'm in a new country.
I'm in a new country. I felt like nobody wanted me.
Yeah, you can't like go grab a bite to eat when you come this far.
Yeah, I mean, literally, it was a group of kids, and everybody was getting their kid. It was this happy moment, like everybody was getting adopted except for me.
Yeah.
So I was like, wow, this is so messed up. But it worked out, man. It worked out great.
So
God is a plan.
You described what was going on in Albania at the time. In my mind, I had your whole family moving over here. Are they still in Albania?
No. Well, yes, and no. They travel. They have passports. They're American citizens as well, and they travel. My brother lives in Virginia. So when they come here, when my parents come for Christmas, they don't come for the weekend or the week. They stay for 3 months. It's like when my family visits, they move in. You know what I mean? So it's great. They love it. We travel. Make it a point to go take my kids every year as much as possible to Albania and really introduce them to the culture. At the end of the day, I'm a Albanian American, and it's very important to me that their worldview opens up.
Yeah,
and they understand that there's a big world out there, different cultures, different people, and start appreciating this beautiful world that we're in.
The perspective has always been interesting to me. I told you I had that friend from high school, Admir.
Yes.
And his parents there owned a pizza restaurant or an Italian restaurant or something. And all of our friends from high school worked there.
Yeah.
And they just seemed like very hardworking, very focused, like very happy people.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've always wondered, like, what's it like to have that enormous perspective, like twice the amount of perspective,
Yeah.
growing up in one culture, moving over to another one and kind of like doing that by choice.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like treating a really big shot like that. Just
Man,
like, I'm going to go start a life in another.
It was a huge shot, and I'm grateful for my parents because I have kids now, and I cannot imagine putting my kids on a plane, 17 years old. Was I going to a country I could barely speak the language and praying and hoping
that it works.
They have enough character, they have enough mental endurance to make it and thrive there,
Right.
I cannot imagine that. So I'm grateful to my parents, but at the same time, that long shot, man, it prepares you for a lot of things. It puts a whole different fire within you. I really wish sometimes, and I know I don't want to get too political, but I really wish sometimes when people start creating this ungrateful perspective about what they have here, if we can just take them, drop them off in a country for a few months, and then bring them back, because it changes everything. And I can tell you, man, I mean, if people look it up, Albania was a lot of people think of Russia, obviously, communism, China. Albania was the most aggressive type of communism. People was getting shot if they left the country. Think of North Korea. You try to attempt to leave, you would get shot.
Nobody knows.
Your family would get either executed or put in jail because you'd attempt to leave. So now your family, your cousins, your uncles, your aunts would probably get moved somewhere in a very remote area and suffer because of your consequences. It was a lesson to be learned for everybody. Very, very tough. But man, I'm so grateful because man, it taught me about difficulties of life, and you work hard. I tell people I was a guest in this country. This country took me in, treated me well, gave me opportunities, and I have a responsibility to try to make it better now.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask is how you think it shaped your work ethic. Obviously, you're doing great now. We'll get into work stuff later, but how do you think that it shaped your work ethic moving here on your own like that, so young? Like, people are scared when they're 17 years old. Like, what am I going to do next? What am I going to do with my life?
Yeah.
And you're like, well, I'm just going to move to the United States by myself. How do you think that shaped you?
Yeah. Well, it shaped me just in this, is that I have an opportunity here.
Yeah.
I don't want to get all Eminem, but you have one shot, one opportunity kind of thing. What I mean? And it's like, you were put here, you have 1 year of learning the language very well, my senior year.
Yeah.
Attempting to do everything you can so you can earn a opportunity to go to college. And that put everything in perspective. There is no safety net. That changes everything.
Yeah.
In life, on every decision. When you realize that, hey, I've burned my ships. Yeah. And this is the only
I have to make this work.
I have to make it work.
Yeah.
It changes your work ethic, your mental perspective, your desires, your passion, your discipline. That changes everything.
So you're waking up every day, you're 17 years old. Like, what are you, American kid, 17, wakes up, he's like, oh, I have to go to school today.
Right.
How are you thinking about every day when you wake up, when you get here?
Well, looking back, I think I was in survival mode. I was in sink or swim, so I believe my mentality there was, I have an opportunity today to change my future.
Mm-hmm.
Today is an opportunity to change my future,
Yeah.
It's almost like a countdown to a massive opportunity. And I was going to college, and again, man, I'm I can't say I fully earned it. There's certain blessings that come in your life, and I was blessed with a full ride, and again, I didn't have money.
Yeah.
I got a full ride.
Yeah. That worked out.
That was like the greatest gift. Like I won the lottery, and so.
Yeah. Before real estate, I know that you did some marketing work for places like the Abilene Reporter.
Yeah.
EW Scripps Company.
Yeah.
What were you actually doing day to day there?
So the journey started in college. I got an internship and with EW Scripps. Abilene Reporter News is part of the EW Scripps. Yeah, they always HCTV and big company, big media company. So I started an internship there. A funny story: the way I got that job, the internship, I was a waiter at the country club in Abilene.
No way.
I was a waiter. I was working long hours. Country clubs, they don't close at 10. They close at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, when the people leave.
That's right. It's a country club. It's like they own it.
Yeah.
So it's serving the members.
Right.
I'm serving this table, and truly, it's like almost like a movie, man. I'm serving this table. I'm talking to this guy, and he's like, "Hey, so we go to college here. What's your degree? What do you do?" And I was like, well, I'll go to Abilene. I'm in McMurray University. I'm in marketing, etc. He goes, man, I like you. He gave me his card and he goes, why don't you come to my office tomorrow to interview for an opportunity, maybe an internship? I took his card. I was like, thank you so much. So I didn't think of it much. Dinner goes on. He pays his bill and he goes, hey, now listen, you're going to show up at the interview, right? Because if you don't have a job here the next day. I was like, well, I better show up to this interview, right? His name was George Cogswell. And I showed up and he was like, hey, I think you have a future in marketing. I'd like for you to become our intern here at Abilene Reporter News. So I started as intern. Then I moved as a marketing associate. Then I became the marketing manager for the whole company at 24 years old. Wow. And the marketing was for Abilene Reporter News. I mean, we did media purchases, radio purchases, advertising, ad spaces, come up with the creative content for all those things.
Yeah.
So I did this for a few years, and then we moved to Bastrop in 2008. When this is the time I got married as well. So big moves, got married and moved.
Okay. So that work, I'm curious on how that's impacted what you're doing and teaching in real estate. So doing marketing, what did it teach you about attention, about messaging, and standing out? Because real estate can kind of blend together.
Oh, absolutely.
Did you bring any of that over?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I brought everything over. The biggest thing to me when it comes to marketing is that you have to have people fall in love with a vision.
Mm-hmm.
It's imagination. That is the biggest thing. Now, obviously, now I'm in real estate, so I don't get to buy, ad purchases for radio stations or TV stations or anything like that. But I think that translates very well in communication, in articulation with your clients, and also with your team. When you talk to a client, it is sales at the end of the day, right? I mean, when I go for a listing presentation or working with an investor, I'm trying to earn the spot for them to trust me instead of there's plenty other agents, plenty other brokers, So the ability to communicate the value, the ability to communicate a vision of what I could do for them has been tremendous. And also with my team, that's what has helped me a lot. And of course, I'm always learning, making plenty of mistakes as a team leader, but learning to teach and also to articulate to the team a vision where we're going and how we get there and really get their buy-in. So I think the biggest tool has been communication and really starting with a vision, right? And then going into technicalities.
Yeah. So I can't see what you're doing in listing appointments. Whatever that is, it's working because I think you almost always have more listings than anybody in Bastrop County. What is visible to me, and I've noticed, is that there were something like 500 5-star reviews or 225 5-star reviews. Like I'm looking at, Zillow, I'm looking at Google Business Profile. I'm like looking at these digital aspects. And I think that Everybody says in this business, it's all about, it is all about people. It's all about your past clients and, making clients for life. And I think that happens after you meet them.
Yeah, absolutely.
But obviously the first step, they never get to meet you. You never get to offer or deliver your service if you don't meet them for the first time. And I think a lot of that, obviously, it's happening on the internet. And you're just doing that part well. So I was wondering when I saw, the background in marketing, your work in media or advertising is what I was assuming you did for the paper. I was like, oh, this is the thing. This is why he's put so much attention on digital and executing so well there.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we live in a digital world now where people start creating some sort of a reality, or perception is reality of people. So they start creating a reality about you based on what they read, and rightfully so. Now people have a voice online. Yeah. They get to bash you or praise you. Yeah. So that was one thing that I believe I did right when I started in real estate. When I got my license, is that I was very, very intentional about those reviews.
Oh yeah.
I was annoying about the reviews.
What do you do?
OCD.
Like, what do you do? Tell me what you say.
I will go after the client till I get the review.
Yeah.
It's preparing them from the beginning and setting the expectation.
What do you say? You tell me, like, this part, I'm working on this part myself.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell them. So even from the beginning, and again, this has changed throughout the years, okay? But just to let you know, from the beginning, I'll say, hey guys, my goal here is to absolutely exceed expectations. I'm not here to meet them. I'm here to exceed them. And obviously, my success depends on your experience. We live in a digital world, and people want to know, did you like him? Did you like his team? Did you trust? Did they deliver for you?
Yeah.
And I said, the only thing I ask is, after this experience, if I've met and surpassed them, can I please trust that you'll be able to leave me a review that could help my team and my future?
And you put that in the beginning.
In the beginning.
Yeah.
And then in the end,
yeah,
I revisit that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So Corbin, thank you so much, man. We close this transaction. Can I please, get you and your wife to please leave a review for me and my team?
Yeah.
If I did not meet those expectations, I would love to know that. But if we did, this is a tremendous help to my team. And people like to help. At the end of the day, people do love to help. I really believe that. So when you go to them sincerely saying, this helps my family, this helps my team, can I count on you to do that? It's not rocket science. They do it most of the time. And if they don't, this is the difference. If they don't, people give up. If you don't do it, I'm going to call you again.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Because I feel like the goal is the relationship, right?
Yeah.
I feel like, I've been involved in one of the biggest life transactions for you, buying or selling a house or getting invested into an investment. I feel like I've earned the ability to have that help me conversation with you.
Right.
Just like you have disclosed very private information about your finances to me.
Yeah.
So there's nothing wrong to be a little bit pushy about those reviews.
Yeah. I think you said, my goal is to over-deliver. And I know that you're actually working to fulfill on that.
Right.
And so if you know that you've done the work, there's no shame in asking for the review.
Right.
You know that you've delivered. It's the same thing of like asking for the money for the house. It's like, we're going to give you the keys to the house. You don't feel bad about paying for the house,
right?
So
there's an exchange that needs to happen.
Yeah. That's awesome. And so when you're talking to new agents, I know that you probably, you get some calls, people trying to join your team.
Yes.
You meet agents just, on the other side of a transaction. Do you think that agents underestimate how important the marketing component is? Let's say the digital marketing component. Are people putting enough emphasis on that right now?
100%. I don't think they underestimate it. I think they don't understand it.
Yeah, I don't know how to do it
the right way. We all have different perspectives. So we live come on, right? We live in the world where if you try to be funny to get as many likes and as many interactions, to be very honest with you, I just don't do any of that. You're never going to find a Instagram thing or Facebook thing where we're just looking completely stupid about something.
Yeah.
Just to get laughs.
Like dancing.
Well, maybe not that, but I don't know, something, right? It's just because I feel like I try to think of it like this, right? If I was considering to work with a wealth manager, right, a financial advisor,
yeah,
and if all these posts were about funny but he's getting thousands of likes, and I don't think I'd ever give him my money.
Yeah,
I'm looking for a professional. I'm looking for somebody who's going to take the future of my family, my wealth, and multiply it.
That might be That might be the part that people forget.
That's right. And when it comes to the real estate, right?
Yeah.
When people look at me and they go to NSPG, Nik Shehu Property Group, and look at all our agents, I want them to feel professionalism there. I want to be like, these people have it all together in the sense of the industry and the career and skills.
A professional.
Absolutely. And somebody be like, I can see them delivering for me.
Okay.
Now nothing wrong with being a little funny and a little cute.
Yeah.
But
there's a lot of content like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Non-professional content. It's getting return or whatever.
It's everywhere. My team always tells me though, hey man, don't take yourself so serious. And I'm a little too serious about that.
What were the lyrics of that Eminem song?
One shot, one opportunity.
Yeah. Nice. So,
and I don't even listen to Eminem. I don't know. It's like,
no, but it kind of makes sense.
Man, it stuck with me.
You got into real estate in 2014 based on my notes. What pulled you into it?
So actually I started in real estate in 2008, but I got my license 2014. So
oh, really?
When I moved to Bastrop, I started creating these relationships, and I met a guy. His name is Chris Costeca, really good friend. And he was like, hey, I think you'd be really good at real estate. I was like, oh, okay, but I got to follow him around a little bit, get to know him a little bit, and I fell in love with negotiations.
Yeah.
I fell in love with the idea of being able to interact with the party and reach a happy grounds.
Yeah.
Almost like a real life poker.
Yeah.
I like negotiations.
Yeah.
And so he introduced me. So in 2008, I was bold enough to start getting into investments, into real estate, mainly family money. So people would say, hey, I have this much cash. I'd like to invest it, looking for an ROI of 10%, 9%, whatever it was, on a buy and hold. So I'd go and look at properties, analyze them for them, bring them analysis.
Oh, that's great.
And then
what a good
buy
start.
them. Yeah, and then would buy them, and I'd manage them for them. And it, not as a realtor, but really in managing and is analyzing. Okay, do we need to do this repair or not?
Yeah,
things of that sort. Because obviously, they did it themselves.
Yeah, that's such a good start.
It was a great start. And I started the worst time, 2008.
Yeah. Right.
Back then was the worst time. Looking back, I was like, we should have bought more properties.
Exactly.
See what I mean?
Yes.
But I didn't have experience.
Right.
So it was a 100% leap of faith on my part. And in 2014, I realized, hey, I'm doing all that. Might as well get the license. And the transition was very, very natural.
Right.
Start working with clients. So now we work with investors, buyers, sellers, developers, 1031s, DSTs, TISs, all that. So
yeah. You're talking about like the two highest stakes components, like finding and analyzing the investment and negotiating.
Yeah.
It's like those are the two highest skill. Like you want the smartest, most experienced guy doing that. And that's just how you started your career. So I'm like, what is
crazy, right?
Yeah.
Like, look, what I was doing, that is of the idea.
Yeah. I know what you mean. No, I know. I like those two. I love those two things too.
Yeah.
So that's amazing. Did that guy that you were working with, what was his name?
Chris Costeca.
Is he still in the business?
Yes, he's in California now.
Okay.
He owns hotels and, things like that. But again, it's so important that somebody looks at something and they express to you what they see in you, because you never know. They might hit something that is going to help you in the future. And I appreciate him expressing that. He's like, hey, I see this in you.
Yeah.
And that's what took off for me.
That kind of happened twice.
Yeah.
The guy at the country club.
At the country club. That's right.
And this guy too.
Except that country club wasn't so nice about it in a good way. He's like, you don't show up to him property here if you don't have a job here.
Yeah. So after you got into it, you start rolling, you start seeing some deals go from start to finish. What was harder than you expected, or what was kind of like the surprising challenge you were into? It's 2008 at this time.
Yeah. You're talking about when I became an agent running with buyers and sellers?
Well, just getting into the real estate business, what were some of the challenges that you didn't really anticipate?
I'll tell you this. When I started in 2008, I wish I would have spent more time studying history, real estate history.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because like I told you, in 2008, all I knew is that I wanted to do this.
Yeah.
And it was a terrifying time because the mortgage industry was collapsing.
Yeah.
We're talking about nationwide. What was it? We saw properties 50% depreciation during those times.
Yeah.
Maybe Arizona's.
Well, just like the news was probably pretty
back there.
Right? You're like, I'm going to get into the real estate business, and then like the media just.
I wish I would have studied real estate history to realize that, the trajectory of your real estate is always going up. There's little drops, bellies here and there, but it's always doing this.
Yeah.
At the time, I didn't see it as this thing will go up again.
Yeah.
If I would have known that, I would have made a whole different moves.
That's something. So you and I kind of started in a similar market cycle, or at the same point in the cycle. Obviously, during COVID, the market went berserk. I started in 2020, in the summer of 2021. Mm-hmm. And so this is kind of the same thing. The interest rates are climbing. I'm in a climbing rate environment. Yeah. You're in a crazy depreciation environment
Right.
where nobody can get financing. So, or at least they felt like they couldn't get financing because they have to like fill out a loan application now. So
No, it was 2000. It was crazy times.
yeah,
The approvals were, how are people getting approved? How things were getting appraised.
the whole industry changed, I guess, to
That-
protect the consumer. But
That's right.
I know it was different. I've heard people say like, "What do you mean I have to fill out an application?" Like that was because they were just giving loans away back then.
Yeah. Can't you just give me a bag of cash?
So if 2008, 2014, early Nick could see today's Nick, what you're doing with your team, what you're doing in your career, what would surprise him most?
Surprised me most? Man, I could probably speak to I wish the things I knew that I know now, that, when it comes
Would have been valuable.
would have been valuable, but however, I think mistakes teach you, mistakes and failure probably are the best teachers in life, so even the things that you can read in a book, sometimes you don't take it very seriously unless you failed, so there's a lot that I've learned about leading a team, and putting a team together. And
Give me some specifics, like anything this week, this month.
yeah,
Would it come in handy?
yeah, man, a couple things, right? So when I started in 2014 real estate personally, solo. I was with Keller Williams. Actually, I was with Kevin White. I was working with Kevin White. Phenomenal human being, great guy.
Yeah.
Highly respect him. Salt of the earth, man. I have huge respect for that guy.
Yeah.
So I worked with Kevin White. And in 2018, I started my own team. We were growing the Kevin White team, but Kevin had a few things that he needed to make adjustments on, needed to slow down for himself.
Yeah.
And I take relationship very seriously. And I remember that time I asked permission. I said, "Hey, I'm a 30-year-old kid, 30-some-year-old kid. Is it okay if I start my own team? I want to do this with you, but since you're slowing down, can I do this?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "Absolutely, man." So I started my team in 2018. And I started just like anybody starts the teams. "Hey, we have a team. You want to join my team?" And that was the value proposition.
Yeah.
There was nothing else, right? It's like, I think I'm really good at this, and maybe I can teach you three things, four things. You want to join my team? And I had people join my team, right? But there was no culture. There was no values in the sense of, really, there was no systems. And those are the biggest things I learned, man. I mean, right now, I can tell you this, NSPG, I'm so big into culture, and a lot of people, that's a big word, right? Culture. What's culture? To me, is values plus behavior. And I wish I knew that in the beginning. When I started in real estate, I started the team, then I was like, we need to have a culture. So I'll throw these big words on there, right? Trying to create unity in the team, but values create unity, but behavior brings clarity. And I just had unity. I didn't have clarity, and a few years later, I was like, we need to change behaviors because our behavior doesn't match our values.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And those are the perfect examples, of what happens every week. Every week on Wednesdays, we have a team meeting. It is non-negotiable. Non-negotiable. I don't care if you are a 20-year veteran, and I don't care if you started yesterday. It's non-negotiable. Everybody comes to the table as equals. And everybody brings value for the person next to them. So that's what I've tried to do. And sometimes that can be limiting to grow your team because a lot of brokerages are like, they bring everybody in.
Right.
That's not what we do. You have to come to the table. You have to bring value, or unfortunately, we're just not the right team for you.
Yeah. And I think you're obviously leading by example too. Your own production in the past 12 months, or at least last year, you sold over 75 homes for over 26 million. Obviously, that's no accident. Are these just relationships that you've had over time? Do you give credit to your digital marketing and that presence and that amount of trust that you have just at the very top of the funnel? What do you credit that to?
First of all, correct those numbers real quick. I personally sold last year 13 million. So maybe the other numbers came from probably some co-agenting with other agents.
Yeah, maybe so.
Yeah, but at the same time, in my opinion, those are big numbers while leading a team as well. And I'm gonna just take a second and say I have rock stars in my team. I mean,
you do.
I have machines when it comes to, and I use the word machine, as in sales, but they are value impact people in the community. They're incredible people. So I can tell you this, I may look good to other people on paper, but it's because they make me look good, man.
No, I like your
them.
team. I have so Jackie Short, I have notes on her.
Yeah.
62 plus deals, 13 million in volume. How are you creating the environment where people like that can thrive, superstars can thrive?
Okay, so I want to tell you this, and this goes against everything real estate teaches. I've chosen to take a path that it satisfies me, and it makes me feel good about what we're doing. I don't hire, number one, non-full-time agents. That sounds eliminating, but I really feel like it's very hard to give full service, true service, to really be immersed in knowledge and in training. This is not your career. If this doesn't put food on the table for your family and your kids, it's very hard for you to be 100% sold into it.
Yeah.
So that's number one. Number two, there is a huge rule that we have that my team knows, and I guess the cat is out of the bag now. When people come in to interview with us, if in the first interview, we have a 3-part interview. If in the first interview, they bring up commissions and splits, that's an automatic out. That is an automatic out.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people are like, wait a minute, money is important.
Yeah.
Yes, it is, but it's not more important than culture, values, behavior. Neither is culture, values, behavior more important than money. Those are both equally important.
Yeah.
And I think that's what has helped to bring rock stars in and keep them there.
Yeah. That's funny, man.
So, yeah.
I get a lot of recruiting calls.
Mm-hmm.
That's in the first or second sentence. They're talking about the commission. They're talking about like it. What would you rather them prioritize? Like, do you talk about challenges with them or how you can help, or tell me what you'd prefer?
The first interview is complete analysis of what they want to know. Because I would expect somebody who really wants to succeed in this.
Yeah.
It's not saying, what can I take from you?
No, it's what can they learn?
What can they learn?
Yeah.
Like, how can I set up myself for success in 5 years or 10 years?
Yeah, exactly.
The HCTV mentality of you start today and you're driving a Beamer tomorrow, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the commission split mentality.
Yeah.
I have agents, all these agents that I've hired, and have never brought that up till the third interview.
Yeah.
And I was like, there's something there.
Yeah.
I can work with that.
Oh, gotcha.
I can hire character and hard work. I can teach you anything, man.
So are you saying that you saw the absence of that combo, the commission or split combo, in the first interview as a marker of future success?
100%.
Okay, cool.
The question span was like, well, tell me this about you, Nick. How do you do this? How does your team do this?
Yeah.
Tell me more.
Yeah, they want to learn.
Get to know me.
Yeah.
Get to know the team. Get to know the people that you're going to sit with every week, every Wednesday at 9:00 around the table for 3 hours. That's the other thing. People are like, I'm sorry, how long is your meetings? Starts at 9 and ends at 12.
Yeah. It's awesome.
Yeah. And we go through everything. It's like, Corbin, what do you need? Then I have 2 buyers that I can't find anything. All right, team, everybody gets on MLS. Everybody gets on the phone. Let's find Corbin properties that he can sell for his property. Hey, Joshua, what do you need? Man, I'm having a hard time with this seller. What do I do? Okay, guys, everybody start pulling data. How can we help Joshua? I mean, it's a 4-hour.
Speaking of helping Joshua, he has a listing, I think, off market.
Yeah.
Behind our house in Smithville.
Okay. Market king, dude.
Is he?
Yeah.
I just wanted to see if there's anything we could do to help on it. Because I mean, it's like literally in our backyard.
Yeah, I have like the kings in my office. I'm telling you, and the queens is like, I call Jackie the lot queen of Tahitian, and the machine, and I call Joshua the off market pocket listing king. Is like the conversion machine. She's like the conversion queen.
Yeah, and she works as buyers, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
She takes our calls. And she just, she's like, yeah, I called 5 people today and I just got 3 clients. And everybody's like, how? She just connects with people, man.
Yeah. So that is something that you're looking for, is their desire to learn, their curiosity in the first visit. And sort of like, tell me how much money.
Absolutely. I want to know, is this plan B, C, D in your life, or are you here to succeed?
Was that something you had to learn the hard way? Like, did you see the split commission guys come in and not really?
This is exactly what I was talking about. Well, beginning, right? It's like the lessons learned.
Yeah.
It's like the values, values plus behavior, right? I heard their values. Everybody can have a great interview with you, but does the behavior match it?
Yeah.
Right. And as you read more and as you're around people, smarter people than me, there's tons of those. And I realized, wait a minute, I don't need to wait to learn the hard way. There is different cues about people.
Yeah.
That
Like patterns.
that humans give you. That's right.
Yeah.
If you figure out patterns, you figure out a lot of things.
Yeah.
Tony Robbins talks about that. Life is patterns. Figure out the patterns, you succeed.
Yeah.
And there was one pattern I realized.
That might be my favorite thing that we've talked about so far, their desire to learn in that first meeting. That when I think about a person like that, when I think about me, when I'm in that zone, it's like where I've already become open to doing whatever it takes, learning whatever it takes to succeed in this thing. It's like you've already gone through a couple of stages to the point where you're like opened, which is like the best spot to end up. Like all my success has ended up from, and I've got a long way to go, but from when I've been broken down by failing in the pursuit of something.
Right.
To the point where I'm like, okay, now anything anyone has to tell me, I'll take it.
Absolutely.
And if you can find the person in that spot in their career, anything you say
the one I want.
is going to absorb.
That is the one I want. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And just so you know, this comes with a price. I've had even local guys that want to start their teams. They'll come to me like, hey, so can you tell me about the team a little bit? And I'll just tell them, hey, you have to be willing to make less money. I start with that. And they're like, oh, okay. And I know their eyes glaze out. I lost them.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're not cut for this yet, man. You're not there yet.
Yeah. And that's the leadership conversation.
Absolutely.
If they want to start a team.
That's right. If you have to be willing to make less money. I make less money as a team leader versus if I was in production. Sounds crazy, or if I put all that energy in that I put in the team, if I would have completely go in production, I would make more money.
Yeah.
That's the reality.
But that's not why you do it. Why do you do it?
Man, I enjoy, I feel like I've been blessed in my life with a lot of things that people gave to me.
Yeah.
Right? I want to create an environment, a culture, our building downtown, the hub, where people come in and I'm able to give them something.
Yeah, you can share it.
That's right. Yeah. I'm able to share it. I'm able to share that environment, that culture, that mentality. And I think we are. Hey, don't get me wrong though. We do plenty of mistakes. No, like I tell my guys, it's okay to make the mistake. It's not okay to do it twice.
It's awesome.
Do it once, learn it, move on.
So changing gears a little, you played college soccer. You still play in an adult league as of one of our last phone calls here in Bastrop. Your boys play soccer too. So that is a family thing.
It's a family.
How did being an athlete shape your approach to business?
Man, discipline. It's like, it's playing in middle school is one thing. Playing in high school is a whole different thing. Going to college and playing soccer is a whole different thing. There's no room for slacking, right? There's people waiting behind you to take your spots, that pressure of performing. And self-discipline. So that has been the biggest thing when it comes to that. But yeah, soccer for us is life. I grew up in Albania, man. It's Europe.
Yeah.
The heart of soccer. And my boys love it. I love it. And that's something that we just do. And I can tell you this, that's what real estate has given me. And I'm so thankful. That's why I'm trying to give it to other people. The best that I can. Has given me the freedom to go to my kids' soccer games.
Yeah.
I've never missed their practice.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I've never missed that.
Yeah, it's the best thing ever.
It is the best thing, man.
Yeah. Watching your kids play sports is like the best.
Oh.
That's my favorite thing to do.
David, you play soccer?
No.
Okay.
But just like, I coached major in, 10 seasons of T-ball, coaches lacrosse team.
Yeah.
I don't know if I ever missed a cheer practice. I probably missed a couple, but Ferris cheer, Ferris riding, watching them compete or watching them train is just, it was my favorite thing to do.
And now to them.
He's 1 year old and, people are always already asking, like, are you going to have him play soccer and that kind of thing?
Yeah.
That's like, as soon as he can walk, that's the only thing we're waiting for is him to be able to walk.
You brought up something so important that I think people misjudged too. It's like what you said about sports. Sports teach you so much about life. So much about life.
Yeah, I think you get more from sports than from school.
Oh, man, it's crazy. The conversation I've had with my oldest, Kenrick, and Cohen now, getting there, about leadership, about harnessing whatever you're feeling towards a success. The pitch, soccer is called the pitch. There, 11 versus 11, there's a team playing against another team. That's what I love about soccer. I don't mean to get into soccer like this, but the thing that I love about soccer is the coach gives you a plan. Americans especially look at soccer and they're like, what's going on here, man? An hour and a half of just running around. This looks crazy.
Yeah.
No, but soccer is so beautiful.
Yeah.
You have a plan before the game.
Yeah.
You only get one more time to talk to your coach, and that's halftime. You have 45 minutes to take that plan and execute it with all the contingencies. It's not like football, right? In the helmet, they hear it. I respect Love and I love football. But when they hear it, okay, change your plan, play this play, play this play.
Yeah, shorter plays.
No, that's it. It's like we gave you the plan. I gave you 20 pages of contingencies. Execute.
Yeah, talk
So if you watch soccer, really, next time you watch soccer, look at it and realize the moment that something doesn't work, they bring the ball back and look at the players. Now it's plan B. Now it's plan C. And it's 11 players knowing where each other is going to be every moment for every play. And that's what I tell my boys, hey man, that's life. You know, it didn't work out. Get back, regroup, attack again.
Yeah.
Get back, regroup, attack again.
Looking at your team now, what lessons from soccer translate directly to real estate? That can be high level stuff, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to okay. So I'll just summarize it in this. From soccer or from life, I think I heard this great quote one time, stuck with me. I love this one-liners, but the magic you are looking for is in the work you are avoiding.
Yeah, I love it.
And I think that's it. Is the you know, all the things, I wish I could do this. The reason why those things aren't happening is because you're not doing the work. You know what to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, you know exactly what, you're just avoiding it.
Yeah.
You know, and that's where the magic is. You know, is because there's magic even if you do the work and you don't get the result that you're looking for, something else. You got something else.
Yeah.
You got discipline, self-control, the desire to go after something. You learned something. So yeah, maybe that.
That's pretty cool. How do you handle losses? You know, a deal in real estate, not 100% of deals close. They fall apart sometimes. You know, how do you handle losses on the field? How do you coach your boys? I'm sure you've coached them in a couple of seasons. Like, what do you tell them? Like, how do you coach them through a loss? How do you deal with a loss in real estate? It happens from time to time.
Yeah, I used to deal with it very, very hard. I used to do it very hard emotionally. I've learned to kind of disconnect emotionally and to make it absolutely a learning into almost a system change. You know, so any deal that ends typically is the party's going to reach an agreement. The appraiser came off. When it comes to investors, we could not make the numbers work on an ROI. Those things, I used to take it so hard. It's almost like a personal failure. But I just learned that, hey, no, it's not a personal failure. It's maybe a system adjustment.
Yeah.
Or at the end of the day, it's just two parties just not finding a middle ground. And that's okay.
Yeah.
You know? Now, of course, does it haunt me when it's a big deal? I was like, man, we missed that. That was a good one, but not as hard as I used to, for sure.
Yeah. You talked about in soccer, the players will like just come back and regroup.
Yeah.
You know,
that's exactly what I'm talking about. Is even with my guys, especially my new guys, is the Wednesday meetings and the one-on-ones that we do. That's the regroup all the time. It's like, hey, what happened here?
Yeah, that's so cool.
And
really valuable.
Yeah. But that's what also keeps the team a little small. A lot of people are like, how come you don't add more agents? Because we're selective. One thing that I've done is I've been very hesitant to hire agents with a lot of years of experience in the business. I feel like sometimes their ways they're stuck in their ways.
Yeah.
And it's very hard to get somebody to think team, the value of team, when they've been playing solo for many, many years.
Yeah, I can see that.
So.
Yeah, and it's also the kind of the opposite of that openness or that willingness to learn that you're going to see in the first visit. I would say somebody been in the business 20 years and not showing up to that meeting the same way. Okay, so now talking to our market, our client, what do most buyers and sellers misunderstand about the market that we're in today? So it's the beginning of 2026, rates just fell below 6%. We were at 5.99 Friday of last week. I think it's back up 6.1 or something now. But what do buyers and sellers misunderstand about today's market?
I think it's very simple. When you come from a thriving, especially on the seller point of view, from a thriving 21, 22, and a bit of 23, where, crazy appreciation of properties, values, you could throw anything on the market to fly. It's been very hard psychologically, I think, for a lot of sellers to switch that. No, property values are dropping. Talking about numbers, I believe year over year, 87% of properties, I checked this a couple of weeks ago when we're doing our team analytics, 87% of properties have had price reductions.
Yeah.
And multiple price reductions.
Yeah.
So very hard to get the data and really help them understand this is where we are. and not to think about where we were, and it comes to educating them about the cycle, right? We're in a little belly, right? We're getting to go up, but we're still here, so we have to adjust expectations. We have to adjust realities of things, meaning, do you have to sell? Do you absolutely have to sell? If you do, we have to deal with the reality. You don't absolutely have to sell. Well, don't sell.
Yeah.
Right. I did a post the other day about, 2025 was about patience, no pressure. At the end of the day, it's sales. So you really want to complete sales for people, but you also have to check with the reality of like, do you have to? Then wait.
Yeah.
Right. You can't wait. Then we have to sell. Let's talk about standards and expectations.
Yeah, we just closed on a lot in Cola Vista. We're looking at building. One of the ways that we could finance that is to sell other properties.
Yeah.
But now it does not seem like a great time to sell a property.
It's not.
Some of these other properties are 2.25% interest also. Right. So we're almost, with inflation, with our currency inflating higher than that rate, I feel like we're kind of getting paid to borrow that money.
Mm-hmm.
I think that there was 2 houses on Onini Court. There were 2 houses at the top of the hill. Now 3 houses in the bottom that could be eligible for sale. And then my rental listing down there. If I had to sell that thing, I'd be the 5th house for sale on a tiny street. There's only like 8 houses.
Correct.
So
I'm going to tell you this. Also, it's very hard whenever you get mixed messages. Right. If you watch TV, so the cycle of real estate falls under 3 things, right? Expansion, right? There's growth, in expansion, you're going to have high demand, low supply, prices go up, less days on market. And then you have contraction, right? Meaning, demand is really low or it's high, but the supply is super high, right? The inventory is high. And that's why you see price reductions, adjustments, corrections in the market. And then you have dislocation. And dislocation is when it makes no sense. There's events that are happening that are causing things to happen. And I think that's what we found. We found COVID. Everybody was terrified and everybody started buying properties. Interest in the 2 and 3s, insane. Prices go up, right? And then COVID goes away or, things get fixed. And all of a sudden, people think they're still in that position. Not only that, but United States, there's markets that are still in expansion mode. Multiple offers. You're like, what? So on a macro level, when that's the messaging that's going out. On the macro level, people say we're in a balanced market. And on micro level, in Bastrop, we're in a strong buyer's market.
Yeah.
Bastrop, 7.5 months of inventory.
Yeah.
Smithville, going almost in a year, 12 months of inventory. That's crazy strong buyer's market. It's very hard to talk to a client and explain that because they're like, wait, I'm hearing balance. You're saying strong buyer. What are you talking about?
That's not local information.
This is where the power of education comes in. You have to get your agents to articulate well and communicate the data correctly.
Yeah.
You can't just throw numbers around with no meaning.
Yeah.
You have to put in perspective, in plain English, what it means. Yeah. So that's been the challenge, I think, right now. But again, there's a lot of things happening that I hope people are keeping up with that at least, again, without getting political, administration is doing to really help move the market.
Because I liked it so much, what you were saying about your interview process and what y'all are looking for in a team. Give me a habit or 2 or a trait that you see top producers doing that others avoid. Maybe something that you can notice right away in people and like, okay, that's somebody that would be a fit. What are some of those traits or what are the things that you notice right away?
Absolutely. So one thing that I noticed, and I think this kind of summarizes really everything because I think everything's offshoot of this, is mental toughness, psychological toughness. When it comes to real estate, we all have the tools. It's a digital age, man. You can get any AI you want. You can get any system you want. You can get any CRM you want. Everything is there, right? There is no tricks. Everybody can buy the same book. Everybody can watch the same podcast. Everybody can go to the same training, right? So the mentorship, the training, the communication that you can learn, the systems are there. What's lacking, the 1% that succeed, mental toughness, discipline, psychological toughness, right? Meaning I have all these tools and I'm going to apply them even when I don't feel like it today. Again, going back to the quote, the magic you're looking for is in the work you're avoiding.
Yeah.
You showing up at the office, you lead generating, you doing your follow-up, you're putting in the work, right? That's it. That's it. That's the secret. I know. It's here, man.
Is that so? Like, let's say a new agent's listening. Is that the one piece of advice you'd give?
That's the.
What would you tell them to do today?
Absolutely. That was it. Is first of all, if new agents coming in, is connect with a team, not a brokerage, a team that is going to invest in you in such a way that is going to teach you what's important, right? There's no difference between Boomtown and Sync. There's little things here and there. Some make it spend the ad spend a little bit better. No, the difference is who's preparing you for the long journey. That's the power of the team. And that's why I think the future is not solo agents anymore. The future is teams and good brokerages.
Yeah, man. Well, I want to thank you for coming in today, especially in person. Thank you so much.
I appreciate you.
Thank you. If somebody wants to connect with you and your team, how do you like them to reach out?
What's
a good first step?
They can call me. I don't mind giving my cell phone out at all, if you don't mind putting it in the podcast, but it's 512-412-2331. realestatebastrop@gmail is my email. Our office is downtown Bastrop, 1007 Main Street, and we love being there in the heart of Bastrop. Come see us, come talk to us. Love to grab coffee with anybody.
It's awesome. We'll put those details in the show notes. Thank you again for coming on.
Man, and thank you. This is quite a setup, and I wish you success in this. And I really appreciate you bringing people in, sharing their stories, and bringing value. Hopefully somebody who listens to this or anybody you bring on can learn something and help them, be a catalyst for success in their life.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Thanks for making this fun. All right.
If we already know each other, thanks for dropping by. If you're a first-time listener, then we'd love to hear what you think. Please follow wherever you're listening and consider leaving a 5-star review so that more awesome people like you can find our content. To learn more about loan options with Corbin, visit MatisseMortgage.com and click free phone consultation. Take care, and we'll see you next time on House Money with Corbin Matisse.